Hey guys, hope you're doing good. So welcome to the third episode of REWA show where I personally interview real estate investors and wholesalers. On the third episode, we have John with us. He's a real estate agent as well as a real estate agent as well, right? Oh, sorry, real estate investor as well. And he's a beast at this real estate game, right? And on the first year, he closed around 45 deals and just first year of being new to this real estate agent thing. And then after that, he started flipping houses and all these other things. So yeah, let's just welcome John. Hey John, hope you're doing good, bro.
Hey guys. Hey, thanks for having me here. Awesome. Man. Yeah, well, I wouldn't call myself a beast. Just a normal guy, just trying out everything because I don't see myself as extraordinary. I feel like anyone can do this. It just really requires hard work. When I started out, I was door knocking 8 hours a day. So, and everybody can do that, right? Door knock and ask them, hey, do you want to sell a house? Well, I would do that 8 hours a day on the weekends and 4 or 5 hours in weekdays, and then 4 or 5 hours of calling. And somehow that got me business. People might overthink, oh, no, I need to do this, internet, Facebook ads, whatever. But the only thing I knew is door knock. And so I asked people's business, and that's how I got really into real estate and really got to know, okay, if this house was in this neighborhood and it's 1,300 square feet and the condition is like this, it should sell X amount, right? So I took that knowledge and started investing in my second year. And I gotta say, I got pretty lucky. I found a house for like 10 grand. They owed a ton of back taxes for another 10. And I was just driving and I saw the house and I was like, hey, I called the seller. I was like, hey, do you want to sell your house? And he was like, yeah, I don't want it anymore. He just didn't want it. He was like, I want to get rid of it. And so I was like, okay, I found a house. Now I need cash because I'm still broke because, you know, I still maybe had less than 10K in my bank account. So I looked at the rehab. It's going to cost over 100 grand. So I found a partner and I presented the deal and he was like, wow, that's a great deal. So he joined and he spent a total of 120K and we were able to sell it for 290K. So close to 300K. So, you know, our net profit was over 160 grand for my first flip, which was totally life-changing. So then I used those funds with the same partner to buy another property for 70 grand and then sold it for 120 without really doing any kind of work. So we repeated that process 15 times that year alone. And we've just been going and going. But I gotta say, there was a time period where I just got burnt out. So I'm just going steady now. So that's kind of who I am. Just a quick introduction. So
sounds good, man. By the way, that's a pretty exciting journey to start with, from door knocking and then 40 deals or 45 deals. And then after that, on the second year, start investing in all those other stuff. So that's pretty interesting, man. Tell us more, like before this, moving into this real estate game, what was your occupation and what was you doing?
So I hopped around from jobs to jobs. I first started off at honestly $600 a month job, which was crazy as an intern. And then I became a waiter. So, and then I found a job where they paid me $10 an hour as an accountant. And then I found a job in sales and selling cell phones. And then I realized, wow, okay, this is my talent. First year, I was able to become the top 12 salesman in 5 states for that retail. We were selling cell phones. And I realized that's where my talent is. And then I met a client who was buying a cell phone from me, who told me I'll be probably good in real estate. And she said, you need to join. But at the same time, I was really comfortable selling cell phone and I was making good money, like 65 grand a year, but that's still good money because we were getting paid commission. And then I kept saying no, but then she said, hey, listen, 20 grand checks are nice. And I was like, wow, can you make that much in one check? one paycheck, because that's how much my parents made a year. So I was like, you know what, I'll take the course. And after like 7 months, I jumped into it full time, quit my job where I was pretty stable and safe. And yeah, that's how I got started. It was
Nice,
good.
man.
I liked it.
Nice, man.
Mhm.
So tell us, like, selling phones helped you into the selling houses and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Does that your
Mhm.
selling or sales experience help you into this, like,
Yeah,
so-called
yeah. And
Grant Cardone thing? Like, you have
right.
to
And
experience
honestly,
of
I
our
feel like
selling.
if you are young, trying to find a job or trying to find what your purpose is, the best advice is just apply for a job. You don't like it, move on. Find another job. And if that doesn't work out, move on. And then if you find like how I did in sales, I did great. So, and I enjoyed it. So let me explore more sales option. So if there's an entry level sales where they pay what, like 30, 40 grand a year, after being there, after getting a little bit training and confidence boost, apply for another job in sales that pays you higher and and then go on from there. And you
Yep.
just never know, you're building upon your talent. So that's my best advice that I could give to young people who are struggling to find their purpose or what kind of job they need to do. So because I've been in a job where I got paid $10 an hour and I completely hated it.
Awesome, man. And would you like to tell us, like, what are the first mistakes that you did on your when you're starting out into this real estate journey?
First mistake. I think this was one of my first viralish video. My first mistake was trusting people. So I found this deal in my real estate journey. It was a great deal. Obviously, it was a great deal because I was door knocking and I found this amazing deal in a subdivision. And
Okay.
the house was worth 170 grand. He actually sold it for 170 grand in the end. Um, the seller wanted 85, and I said,
Okay.
I'll take it. And another investor that I know saw that, and she was like, you know what? Let's work on this together, partner up on this together. So I said, yeah, sure. So I let the other investor buy it in cash, and he starts rehabbing, which he said it was only 20 grand in it. And so after he finished rehabbing, I called him, hey, it's time to sell. Let me put it on the market. And all of a sudden, he doesn't reply to me, texts me back. I call him,
Okay.
goes straight to voicemail. And I saw that I saw that he put it on the market by himself. And I was just baffled. I think that was probably my first mistake. So, and after that, I made that 160 grand. So it's his loss, whatever. But that was my first mistake. Everything on paper, everything in yeah, pretty much in paper. And don't trust anybody. Don't trust sellers or buyers. Yeah, it's a dog world out there.
Yep.
So that was my first mistake. Yeah.
There's a phrase into the real estate agent industry as well, like, the sellers are liar and buyers are worse. Like,
Yeah, no,
so
they're all liars for sure. Like, don't trust anybody. That's my first. But the thing is, like, I'm a trusting guy and I like to trust people. And that's probably one of my downfalls. And also, it does help me because people see me and then because sometimes when you talk to people, they can kind of tell who you are. And since I'm like that, they want to do business with me. So sometimes it works out in my favor, but sometimes it doesn't. So, but I just have to be more cautious and not naive.
how much money did you invest into that thing?
So the thing was, like, I brought the value by finding the deal,
Okay.
and he's bringing the value by being the capital investor. And so I
Yep.
was gonna also help him with construction and everything. But yeah, so yeah, because the thing is, like, there's a lot of people with a lot of money, and you can
Yep.
find people with private money. However, there's not a lot of people who can actually find home deals that can produce more money. Like the house that I just sold yesterday morning for 140 grand. I bought that for 65 grand to last month. So within 30 days, like finding a deal like that, it doesn't happen often. It really, you just need someone who knows what kind of target audience they need to reach out. And then who knows how to, when they meet the seller, who knows how to talk and negotiate. Now that's a specific set of skill that's hard to find.
Yep. Sounds good, man. And yeah, just tell us more about like what's your acquisition strategies you're using right now and what are the dispositions as well, like in depth.
So so I actually came from a year-long break. I actually didn't work. Yeah, it's a crazy thing to do. After doing all the deals, all the work, I crashed. And that's just the human side of me. It's like when a new stock is introduced, it goes way up high, out of evaluation because people are, and then it crashes. So I was actually at that point in my life where I just didn't work for a year. And now I'm getting back. But my acquisition, I used to employ people who'd call for me, and then virtual assistants, and a lot of software system here and there. But man, the expenses on that does cost a lot for sure. So you just need to find the right people too, because sometimes I would find my workers like who's supposed to be calling, like not call and stay on Facebook or Instagram, just wasting their time. But and also that's poor management by me too, because I was not really in the office. I just trusted them to do the work. But there needs to be some kind of supervision and accountability.
Exactly.
So that's part of what I lack as well, because I want to be great, but I'm still at a certain level. So I want to get there, but there's a lot of trial and errors right now.
Yeah, man. You just told me like the people used to have this procrastination and that's wasting their time on the job, right? So just to overcome this, on our company we use like we only pay them when they call those leads, right? We only pay on the per called hour. It's not about per working hour, it's about per called hour. It means if you have a 8-hour shift and you called for around 6 hours, we are not going to pay you for $8 8 hours, right? We're only going to pay you for 6 hours. So
that's actually really smart. I don't know why I've never thought that, but that method makes more sense. I just paid them hourly. So but that right there it could be the answer.
Plus when you have a proper system in place, like we use a call tool, right? So in that call tool we can customize like how many hours one agent have called. Okay, so we can know that this man has only called for the next 3 hours. It means we'll be going to pay him on the third. Plus it's also important to have accountability on or a manager to just go through entire process and this thing, like what the employees are doing, because the acquisition and lead gen part is the main root of any business. You're not going to have any other business, right? Plus in the real estate, it's on the real estate transaction, it's not a recurring business, right? Once a seller is selling their house, it's one of the best and one of the biggest decision of that seller's history, right? So they will be doing this on one time or 2 times. So you have to be continuously doing a lot of lead gen, appointments booking, and have new opportunities on your pipeline. So that's the first thing I have learned into the system. And
no, I absolutely agree. If you don't have any leads, like your business is dead, because leads equals prospect. Like leads are going to be your clients and they're going to be the lifeline of your business. If money's not coming in, you're going to shut down. So yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yep, man. And just tell us more about your best and worst experience with real estate investing.
Real estate investing, the worst is a lawsuit. So I actually just won a lawsuit. That's probably the worst experience because, like I said, I still make mistakes. Buyers are liars, sellers are liars, buyers are liars. So it was this case where this old man, he said he wants to sell his house. He owed back taxes. And I said, don't worry, we're gonna close before the auction date. But
Okay.
one day he called me. He was crying. He was sobbing. He's like, hey, John, please pay this ahead of time before closing. It's just stressing me out. I can't take it. My health is bad. I need to go to the hospital, yada, yada. And I heard him out. I was like, but we're going to be closing probably next week, And he was like, it's yours anyways. Can you just close? And the naive, stupid me, I went ahead and paid the back taxes already. And he found that out. And guess what? We go to the closing table. You know what he does? He looks at me. He's like, John, I changed my mind. I'm not closing. I'm walking out at the closing table. So I was like, what just happened? What just happened? And then he tells me to bring him cash, which was a cash deal, but he wanted paper money. He was like, I need paper money. Just bring it to me and then I'll sell it. Because he wanted to evade taxes too. So he didn't want to pay any taxes or have the government know how much he made. So yeah, I took him to the lawsuit. I was like, okay, you're not going to play. I've never been in a lawsuit. It's kind of a scary process to me. So the process looks like you pay $3,000 upfront to an attorney. He does the paperwork. He tries to renegotiate, and we renegotiate it. He gets a higher price, which was terrible because I didn't want to waste 6, 7, 8 months in a lawsuit. So he says yes. And then at the last minute, he changes his mind. So I was like, okay, a lawsuit it is. So we take him to court. That's another $3,000. And yeah, and then while we were in court, he tried to sell it to other 3 buyers, which made no sense. So he got caught. And yeah, we won the lawsuit. He had to pay back the fees. He's netting a whole lot less than what he was supposed to. He's getting evicted. And so that's probably the worst experience that I had, but it made me more knowledgeable. I'm telling you, I think you need to title this podcast, my episode, Sellers Are Liars, Buyers Are Liars. Everyone's a liar. But the best experience that I've had in real estate investing is that it is hard, but it's also not as hard as you think. Like my first deal, I just took a wrong turn in a subdivision at a dead end cul-de-sac, end cul-de-sac. And I found a very beat up house, and I just called the owners, and they said, oh, hey, yeah, just take it. I don't want this house. And that was the deal. I made 160 grand. That was just really life-changing. And it was just one phone call. So that was probably the best deal, the best experience that I've had in my real estate, the first flip. So
tell me, like, what was your first experience holding this check of around $160,000? And yeah, how was that feeling for you?
Oh, that feeling, it was crazy because as an agent, even though I did close a lot, there's a lot of brokerage fees that you have to pay, the splits, the taxes, and you're trying to live your living expenses. So I've never had more than 10 over maybe like 18 grand, 15 grand in my bank account. And once I saw over 6 figures in there, I was just like,
boom,
whoa, this is weird. This is crazy. But also I did learn that, so you see all those celebrities or whatever athletes, they make a ton. And then you see their net worth is a lot lower than how much they make. And you're like, dang, how do people spend that much? I was like, okay, I have 6 figures in the account. I should be fine. And one year that I don't work, I was like, wow, I spent a lot. So that's a big lesson I learned too. I was like, okay, the money that you have, don't take it for granted. Like you need to keep investing and investing to multiply that. So
totally agree with you, man. Like you have to keep your money safe, right? The inflation is going on.
Not safe. The money, don't even put it in savings account. You got to invest. Like the only way you can multiply is invest, because saving is hard. Making more money is hard. I guess it's the difference between whether you want to struggle saving or struggle making more money. So, but, and if you, in my experience, you just have to invest and invest to make more money. Like you can't just keep
just the
saving.
same thing.
It's just extremely hard.
I was saying like saving that money from yourself to investing on the shitty things like cars and houses and stuff like that. I was just telling this, but yeah, you told me like the correct thing, like invest into this assets and stuff. That's plus point.
Yeah. And it's
And yeah,
just like weird because in life, you know, next thing you keep saving and all of a sudden your car breaks down. All of a sudden your dog gets sick. Like yesterday, my 2 kittens got spayed, and that was like $500.
okay,
So like all these
okay,
unexpected costs, like, so you just have to keep investing. And for me, I think saving is good to do, but it's also really hard to do.
and are you focusing on long-term rentals and short-term rentals as well?
I need to focus on long-term rentals right now. I'm
Yep.
just pumping out capital after capital, and it's not great because it's heavier on taxes. So I'm more focusing right now on getting rentals and not doing doing more creative financing, because I think that's
Yep.
going to be my next step in my business, where I actually try to take on seller financing instead of trying to buy the house for all cash and then flip
Yep.
it, because I do that mostly. But in the end, I mean, I've had over 10, 20, like close in that area in my name, the properties in my name, but I don't have them anymore. I have nothing to show for. So
Yep.
that's my problem. And I mean, I'm not a super investor. I'm just a guy in my 20s just trying to make it.
Yep. I heard Pace, you know about the Pace, right? Pace Mobby. And heard him once
Yeah.
like flipping builds cash and creative financing builds your wealth. So that's a freaking thing for me. Like creative financing, if you are just investing into this and you have property into your name, and for the long-term rentals and short-term rentals, you're already creating generational wealth for yourself. That's a plus point.
Absolutely. Because the flips that I looked at, I just went to look back at them and I realized, wow, those flips that I sold for 120, 150, 180, 300, 290. Wow, today's value, they're almost, I could have made twice as much if I sold it today. But, you know, at the same time, I know I couldn't hold them out because I needed the capital from those investments to use it to the other. So I don't regret it, but I just realized I have nothing to show for, and I just need to get.
That's the nitty gritty part of this business.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
So whoever's watching, like, just because someone makes this or they look successful, they still have their own problems. There's still there's levels to everything. Because I know some people are there with seller financing, rentals, and some people aren't investing or fixing and flipping, but they still have rentals. Like, and I think that's really, really good. Even my friends who aren't even in real estate as much as me, you know, they're just taking everything slow. They have a primary house and they have their second rental, just taking it slowly by slowly. So it doesn't have to be like extremely fast, like let's go 1,000 miles per hour, because it is stressful when you're fixing up and flipping houses, because you have to sell. You don't want the market to turn. You have risk. You put in X amount of money. Oh, Hurricane Ian's coming through, or any natural disasters. Because I bought 3 homes all at once, total 160K in it. And next thing you know, Hurricane Sally comes, trees fall on them, can't sell them. It's just, you have those problems, you have those risks. So
yeah, man, just like you said this right, focus on the building wealth and creative financing. On our previous episode, we had Jeff with us. Okay, so he's a creative financing beast. I'm literally saying he's a creative financing beast. Okay, so his only focus is to close 1 deal a month. He's only focusing on 1 deal a month, and he's
only 1 deal a month is extremely hard.
Exactly.
That's a good goal, but that's still extremely hard.
Yeah, and he's just only focusing on the creative financing or sub only.
Yeah,
so that's a plus point. See, by the end of your year, you have already 12 properties under your name. You're already around $1 million or $2 million up in
Right.
the generation wheel, right? That's a plus point.
But I feel like that's okay. It might be real. I don't know. I feel like to the average Joe, it is unrealistic because then
Yeah.
if you had that pattern and if it was that easy, everyone would be doing it. So
Yeah.
I know those real estate gurus make it look easy, but I
It's
really
not.
disagree with
It's
them
not.
because like one deal you could be working for 2 years. I've had a deal where I was working for 2 years and it fell apart. So there's a lot of deals that people work really hard for and it just takes time.
Yeah.
The seller might not want to sell now, but they might want to sell later 2-3 years down the road. And that deal, it just takes time. So, you know, that's a good goal to have though, one deal a month. So that way, you know, you have a clear goal and what to hit, but that's good for him.
Yep. By the way, you just said that you're closing a lot of deals on the flipping side and you're packing up the cash. That's a plus point for you as well right now. Because on the future, like I think in 1 year, there will be a hard time recession going on, right? In that case, there will be a lot of foreclosure and probate opportunities so that you can invest that money into this future opportunity and can make around 3x or 4x ROI. So that's a plus point for you as well. So
but it's a weird thing because it's like a fight against time because the more you don't invest, the more money chips away because you're paying your living expenses, gas, food, whatever here and there. So it's so that's why people want to do those deals like one deal a month because they have to keep moving to make it sustainable. So it's a hard business for sure.
For sure. Nothing beats, man, this. And yeah, let's just by the way, let's end this. We talked about a lot of things. Okay. So thanks for being here, man. Thanks. I really appreciate this. Okay.
Thanks. It was a great talk. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, man. Okay. So if anyone is watching this on YouTube or Facebook, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel and leave a comment below. What part did you like the most? And do you have any questions regarding this as well? Okay. So yeah, thanks for being here, John. Bye-bye.
Sounds good. See ya.
Bye.